Hello and welcome to my channel. I am ZodiacBandit, and later on this week, it seems in Critical Role Campaign 3, Episode 19, we're going to at least get the beginnings or the preparation for the Twilight Manor Museum heist. The heist for Miss Jenna Huxham, part of Ashton's backstory, and I'm excited to see what is going to happen during this heist. Now, I've had a few weeks now to think about what could possibly happen, what sort of defenses this place might have, and that's what I want to talk about today. My sort of ideas around it as if I were Matt, what I would do if I was Matt. So yeah, let's get into it. The first thing that I can see Matt potentially doing is just having a boring, lame-ass museum with a bunch of heavy security, with, stone golems or iron golems or some sort of defenses similar to what they found in Jenna Huxham's house when they visited there. And one of the reasons I think this could be a potential possibility is the reactions of the people around the Heartmoor. They seem bored or disinterested whenever they were talked about or talking about the museum, and could just mean that they have a bunch of artifacts or lame ass shit found inside the museum itself, and most of it's heavily guarded by a bunch of goons or some sort of non-living creatures and constructions like defending the place, making it very boring for the people around the Heartmoor. So it's a possibility that it's just a bland, boring, uninteresting place, and that the entrance that the owner made at the beginning was just some sort of farce, and that not all of it is going to be exactly flamboyant and exciting like him. While I find it very hard to believe that Matt would come up with something very boring or, lame as the first boring museum idea I just spouted out a few seconds ago, I do think this one, a haunted house sort of thing, is more right up the alley of this swamp museum. And not necessarily a haunted house in the vein of the Haunted Mansion, the Disney World ride, or the movie. No, in fact, I'm thinking more of the Monster House, the movie from 2006, where the house itself came to life. And that could be one of the reasons why this 3-story building hasn't sunken into the swamps of the Heartmoor. It's alive and refuses to go in. And it's going to have interior defenses that kind of don't harm people when they go in, but they get spat out. Another reason for why the local denizens don't like the building itself. I think this could be a very fun, very intriguing way for Matt to kind of have to make them restart as they get halfway in and they get pushed out, which might explain the heavy defenses of this sort of museum. And the last idea that I've sort of thought of over the last 2 weeks waiting for this heist episode to happen, and that is Tomb of Horrors. Now, some of you might not know what that is when I just say that, and some of you probably do, most of you probably do. But if you don't, Tomb of Horrors is a old edition map or dungeon from Dungeons and Dragons created by Gary Gygax with the sole purpose of fucking with, trolling, and pissing off players of any level because he wanted to show that strong characters or strong builds weren't perfect or whatever the fuck he wanted to do with it. Now, I think Matt could be inspired by it. He's not going to rip the Tomb of Horrors itself and throw it into his game. No, what I think he'll do is he'll do very similar trolley tactics where you get sent back to the beginning. There's a million pitfalls everywhere. There's a bunch of holes. You have to peel off a piece of the wall to open the next door to get through. You have to press the right buttons in order to be able to open the door or to be able to teleport. You have to stand in a room for 10 minutes and wait for the thing to just let you get out. There's a puzzle or a poem at the beginning that tells you the clues to the dungeon itself. I think Matt could become very inspired by something like this. And we now know that the Call of the Netherdeep style of, adventure is being sort of referenced here by other adventuring parties trying to sneak in as well. I think there could be multiple different ways to connect the Tomb of Horrors or the multiple Tomb of Horrors so that they interact with those people as well. They push in the wrong buttons on the rainbow door or whatever the heck they're going to use, and he gets teleported into the other group, the other group's entryway. And now he has to either help them try to get in to get back to their group, or he has to make his way back to the others by leaving out of the way they came and going all the way back around to the main party. I could see Matt getting very inspired by a Tomb of Horrors style fuck with my players for a bit because they have been fucking with me for years. I can definitely see it. Don't know how vengeful Matt is, but he's got a lot of build up, so I think this is a possibility as well. And there you have it. The 3 different ways that I could think of this heist potentially going, or the house or the mansion itself potentially being defense-wise for this heist that is coming up very soon. Monster House inspired, Tomb of Horrors inspired, or a boring, regular, everyday museum. Yeah, I hope that one's not it. I hope it is more. I really hope it's Tomb of Horrors, but I would also really love to see this living house. And if none of these happen, that's right up my alley. I only got one character prediction right when they came up with all their characters, so it would be fairly accurate of me to go down that path of getting absolutely nothing right. I could have gone into more detail about what could have been inside to defend it, but I like to leave it a bit more vague. I think if it's the monster house, that's explainable enough. The house is fighting back, and the Tomb of Horrors, yeah, that is something you'd have to break down for hours, and I'm not looking to do that. So, that being said, these are my 3 sort of ideas that I came up with over the last 2 weeks. Hope you enjoyed. See you guys on Friday.